Welcome to the show, Steph. I would like you to introduce yourself to
Yes.
the audience.
Sure. My name is Stephanie. I'm born in Canada, but I'm Armenian Lebanese from background, so I grew up in different cultures. And I'm also a hypnotherapist. So I work with the subconscious mind, and I really believe in the power of the subconscious mind. And I love to help people.
Amazing, amazing. That sounds interesting. I would love to know more about uh, hypnotherapy you talked about in subconscious mind.
Yes.
And I think a lot of our traumas, a lot of our beliefs are deep, like stored deep in the subconscious mind, but
Mhm.
we're not aware of it.
Yeah.
And we go with our regular life, but there's some beliefs that are there, and we act. Our defenses act in a way unknowingly because of our childhood traumas or whatnot. So maybe I would love to know more about subconscious mind and what you do.
100%. You
Yeah.
already know a lot compared to a lot of
Uh-huh.
people. So that's really cool. That's a great start, but you explained it pretty well.
Mhm.
Some of our traumas and just even the good stuff are stored deeper in our minds, and it is the part of the subconscious mind.
Mm.
So the way I like to explain it is that 90% of the day we're in our subconscious mind, but we're not really aware of it.
Okay,
I can give an example. We can try something if you want.
sure.
I'm going to invite you to cross your arms.
Okay.
Okay. And just like take a minute to notice how you cross them. Okay?
Hmm.
And now I'm going to ask you to cross it the exact opposite way.
Yeah, we did the same experiment last time.
We did?
I did with another
Person?
person, yeah,
Okay.
on the podcast.
Really?
Yes.
No way.
Yeah, he talked about this, like when we do
yes,
this.
the energy.
No, but like when I close my
Mhm.
arms, but like generally as a kid I'm doing this way.
Yes.
But he's like, oh, can you do the other way? And I'm like, okay, how do I? Yeah, it's like took me time to do it,
Okay.
but I'm still doing the same. But like, yeah.
And
Is
was
it the-
it to
is it the
explain
same?
that? Yes, it's similar.
Yeah, okay.
So it's to explain, yeah. So the first way, you did it like pretty naturally.
Yes.
You didn't really have to think about it.
Yeah.
You just went for it.
Yes.
Because there's a program in your mind that's running
Mm.
that you don't have to really think of how to act.
Mm.
But the second way to do it is more unnatural. You have to think about it
Think about it and learn.
to do it.
Yeah.
So that's the conscious mind. That's how I usually explain the difference.
Mm.
And the subconscious mind, it's like a program, like a computer. It's a bit, the mind is like a computer.
Mm.
Computer was inspired by the mind.
Yeah.
And there's programs running in the back.
Mm.
So the subconscious mind is that program running.
Mm.
And the conscious mind is when the logic takes over, when you have to think in order to act. So that's where hypnotherapy comes in. Hypnotherapy works with the subconscious mind versus any other form of therapy, for example, psychotherapy, works with the conscious mind.
Okay,
If
before
it
we
makes sense.
before we get into it, I'm super curious to know because a lot of people think, oh, hypnotherapy is like, oh, you would hypnotize me, take my money, or like that. So maybe you can tell people what hypnotherapy is not,
Is not.
like in the sense of like, oh, like you're not.
Yes.
I don't control your mind. I don't control your brain. Like
100%.
like they still are conscious of what they're doing. So maybe
Yes.
like if you could help us understand what hypnotherapy, maybe if you want to explain what it is and what it is not.
Okay, I
So
like.
just to
Yeah, I love that. I love. It's the first time someone asks like that, so I really love it. It's cool because it's challenging for me to explain it in a different way. So I can start with what it's not,
Mm-hmm.
because it is a challenge for me actually because of the movies and the TV shows. There's a lot of taboo around it, and people think it's not what it is.
Yeah.
And what it's not not a control of the mind. So I always like to joke, especially for people who are more skeptical, I would say if I could control your mind or people's mind in general, I would be like really, really rich right now because I would find a way to convince you to send me all your money, and in a few years I would stop working. But it's not the reality of things, right? So I cannot control your mind, and you need to give me your consent in order for it to work, because the mind is very powerful and you can't really go against your own will. So in order for it to work, you have to give me your consent. So I can't control your mind because I won't even have your consent to do so. So it's that, and it's not also what you see in the movies. It's not, you won't come in and I won't dangle something in front of your face and say certain things and try to put new suggestions in your mind. That's not how it is. It's basically just a state of deep relaxation.
Hmm.
Like I said earlier, you're already in your subconscious mind 90% of the day. It's just that we become aware of that state of mind and we use it to work with it.
Mm-hmm. So when you say 90% of our day we are in the
Yeah.
subconscious mind, but do you mean like we're acting with our subconscious, but like we need to reprogram a few things to make it better?
Correct.
Okay.
So an example I can give is, and this is, I'm saying this number, ChatGPT even says 95% of the day, but basically it's very simple. It's the way you get out of bed, the way you brush your teeth, the way you get dressed, the way you walk, the way you react to certain things, the emotions you feel, everything that you do, mostly your habits. That's what I mean by being in the subconscious mind. It's a program that's running. And in order for you to do something differently, you have to think about it, just like I did with the arms. So if usually you brush your teeth with your right hand, let's say, it's habitual. You're never going to brush it with your left unless you think about using your left hand to brush your teeth. So that's what I mean when I say you're in your subconscious mind. And where it gets deeper is when it comes to emotions. So for example, you're driving and someone cuts you off and you press on the beep and you start yelling and you give them the finger and you get really, really angry. It doesn't really make sense to get that angry for someone cutting you off. But it means that that instant activated or triggered something in your subconscious mind. Maybe in the past, someone did something and cheated you, and it made them go get first and you got second and it hurt you. And little instances that you relive trigger emotional memories.
Okay.
And that's where it's important to do the work.
To do the work.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you think someone can reprogram it? Again, with hypnotherapy, or I'll bring my perspective.
Yeah, sure.
I'll
Go
bring
ahead.
my perspective as in, like, I always try to have not a routine, but I've heard routine is good, but I feel I don't want to fall in that, so I always try to do different things.
Yeah.
Like even talked about brushing with left hand. I often do it, and I don't have a particular time. Like, oh, I wake up and I do this.
Yeah.
I believe in more stacking than like habit stacking than actually following how do I say, following a timeline of like, as soon as I wake up I do this and then this and then this, because I know if for any reason I disrupt any one of that, I would feel like, oh, I didn't do that. I would, like, I feel bad, or that guilty, or like, or I missed, or I'm like not proud of myself, something like that.
Yeah.
So that's why I try to do things in a different way. I even, as I told you, I even try to do like brushing my teeth with my left hand. So I often try to do different things, and I want to understand the how is that impactful. Because always I feel like a lot of people want to have a proper schedule, and they feel like really bad when they don't go by the schedule. Like,
yeah. I
so
love
if
that
you
you bring
wanna-
that up. It's very controversial, especially in today's day and age where it's like very like hustle mindset, success mindset. Like everyone thinks that consistency is the way to go, and that if you have a certain routine, like you wake up at 5, you go to the gym, you do this, you do that, like very structured, very routine like you said, people think that that's the way to go. I don't believe that either, but it's very controversial because I have conversations with people, and the fact that you do that, actually, that you break the routine, that you do things differently, is great for the mind, because that means that you're very adaptable. You're just training your mind to be adaptable. And why that's important is that you get out of the structure, you get out of the rigidity, because we're emotional beings at the end of the day. And yes, society is trying to make us function in a certain way, but it kind of goes against our nature. So that's why it's also people are struggling with a lot of things right now, and that's where, yes, hypnotherapy comes in, but there's many other things you can do. Like what you're doing is already a form of restructuring, reprogramming your mind. You can also do like meditation. Meditation is just becoming aware of your emotions. It doesn't necessarily mean sitting in silence and doing a certain position and not thinking about anything. It's just really being in the present moment. You can do many different things that will help you reprogram your subconscious mind, and starting with physical habits is the easiest, I would say.
Okay.
So when people come and see me and they have a hard time meditating, journaling, doing the harder stuff, I tell them, just get out of bed on the different side. Just brush your teeth. If you usually wear your pants and then your shirt, wear your shirt before you wear the pants. So sometimes starting with the physical aspects is easier, but it definitely is a way to kind of trick your mind into, you're controlling your mind basically instead of it controlling you.
So thank you, thanks for bringing that perspective. I always feel like sometimes we are so habituated in that programming that we are used to, and like often, like let's say you're going back home from work, taking a metro or whatnot, and you're lost in your thoughts, and sometimes you don't even know how your time went, and you're like, okay, because your brain is actually programmed that way. And that's why a change, or at least doing things in a different way, I think also helps
100%.
to reprogram. And I also agree with what you said about it's a controversial topic, because yes, people say it might work, but like I believe if you're too rigid about anything, like even flowing too much is also not good, and even having a proper structure, that's why I call like a flow. I often say I'm in the flow, but very well aware of where I'm going. As long as you know,
destination is clear.
as long as you know where you're going, you can just flow with it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I had an idea that came to my mind, but I just lost it again. Yeah, I believe in equilibrium. So I always say that it's not good to do bad. It's true that bad things are not good, but also too much of a good thing is not good. You know, people who are in extreme, on either extremes is not good. You kind of always have to come to a balance. You can't always be 50-50, but it's always, I feel like life is a game of constantly balancing things. And that's how I see it. So yes, you're right. It's good to have a certain level of structure, but it's also good to be open-minded enough so that if something does get disrupted in that structure, you can kind of adapt. Rearrange, and
amazing. Thank you. Thanks again for that, sharing that. So how do we go about, as someone, let's say, who doesn't know about hypnotherapy, or someone who doesn't know about how to reprogram my brain? You already talked about how can we change things, like on a physical aspect. Okay, now how do we start on the mental aspect? Like, how do I sit with my emotions, or what do I need to do? I'm like, let's say I'm someone who's going through something in life or having hard times, just sitting with my emotions. How do I deal with it? How do I start? What should be my first step?
Sure. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do, for sure. You can start by yourself. I really believe that we have the power to heal ourselves. I believe that we were born in such a way that even whether it's physical or mental, I believe that we can manage on our own. It's just that sometimes it is harder, especially if you don't have the tools. So I'm a big fan of doing research. So you can search on different topics or whatever you're going through. Let's say you're going through a breakup, or you're grieving someone who just passed away. You can start by doing a little bit of research about the topic so you can become aware of it. Because when you're not aware, when you lack the knowledge about something, it's harder to kind of get in touch with it. So I would say that's the first step. And then once you become aware of the topic, then find ways to go around it. So I believe we're mind, body, spirit. Some people believe it's just mind and body. Like I said earlier, the easiest access point is the body. It's the physical world, because it's the physical side because we're living in a physical world. So I like to recommend moving. When you feel stuck in your emotions, when you feel like you're sad, you're angry, and you're not able to come out of it, just go for a walk, go for a jog. Put your favorite song and blast it and dance in your living room. Just any way to move the body. The next step of moving the body, I personally love yoga. Yoga changed my life because yoga combines the body and the mind. So you're doing things, yes, you're moving your body, but it's also very mindful because sometimes you have to hold a certain position for a certain amount of minutes, and that's when the mind comes in, right? It becomes challenging to just stay still in that position. So any type of moving, level 1. Level 2, combining body and mind, I would say yoga is a great tool. And then if you want to go a little deeper in the mind, meditation. It's hard because of the concept around meditation, but what it means is basically just being present. So just sitting with yourself and putting words on how you're feeling. Okay, how am I feeling right now? I'm feeling sad. Where do I feel it in my body? Do I feel it here? Do I feel it here? Do I feel it in my throat? Just sitting, like becoming aware of what that emotion means for you. And then the next step, once you do become aware, is to journal about it, write about it. Sometimes people don't like writing, so just voice record how you're feeling. I call it sometimes mind dumping. So don't think of what to write or what to say. Just blah, 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 blah for 30 minutes, whatever is on your mind. Just let it out. Letting it out, basically. And if all of these are really hard and you're not able to manage with yourself, that's when professional help can come in. You can go see a hypnotherapist, a yoga teacher, just someone who's done the work or who knows just a little bit better than you and who can give you a certain guidance.
Yeah, sometimes you need direction.
Sometimes you just need that help. Sometimes it could be 1 session, 2 sessions, 1 conversation, or talking to someone who went through it and asking how they dealt with it. So just getting exterior help if you're not able to deal with it by yourself.
Thank you for summing it so nicely, and I like the steps that you walked us through. Firstly, I want to get back to the mind, body, and the spirit. And what did you mean by that? Okay. If you could if you could help us understand mind, and you talked about mind and body. I would love to know about the spirit too. So what do you, from your perspective?
Again, very controversial, right? I feel like I'm often challenged when I talk about the spiritual part of things because of my belief system. I believe that we're more than just body. I really believe that we are a spirit that came here in the form of a body to experience certain things in life, and that we're basically spirits living a human experience and not the other way around.
Can you call it a soul?
A soul. A soul, yes, our soul. Mind, body, and soul. And I feel like our soul, I'm not sure how to explain it. I feel like it's something that's not really tangible. It's more something you feel. And sometimes I like to describe it as a form of energy. I feel like it's a form of energy that we all hold within. I don't know why I'm doing this. I feel like it's starts here. And it's basically the energy source that guides our life. And I believe that soul, the soul that we have, contains infinite amount of information that also comes from the past. So it could be, depending on your belief system, it could be your ancestry, it could be past lives. Again, it's a belief system, right? Not everyone believes in this, and I don't like imposing my beliefs, but I really believe that we come here with a certain baggage already, and we're here to kind of experience life in different ways and see how we can add on to this baggage. So kind of like if you do good, then good things will happen to you. If you do bad things will happen to you, and that will kind of be registered in the soul. And whenever you pass away in a physical world, your soul will return to its source and maybe, sometimes yes, sometimes not, find its way back in the physical realm to live more experiences.
That's beautiful.
It's so hard to explain.
No,
but
it's
I don't
you
know if it
explained.
makes sense.
I'm glad you found the right words to explain it. I mean, we in Hinduism we have this
Yeah.
concept too. We call it Atma.
How would you explain it?
How would I explain it?
Yeah.
Kind of in a similar way.
Okay.
We believe like it's also based upon your karmic attachments.
Yeah.
So like in Hinduism believes a lot about karma and the karmic attachments. Like what good do you bring to the society or to the world, and then what bad do you do, and then based upon that, like human form takes so many births before attaining moksha. Moksha is liberation.
Okay.
So like you're bound to take so many births, and based upon your karmic deeds, I would call
Okay.
deeds, you would either get into a different yoni. We call it as like a different form or different life. Could be an animal, could be insect, could be like any like living being, any living being, and then like after so many yonis, you get a human form, and after a human form, you can either like based upon your karmic deeds, you would like reincarnate to finish what was unsettled, or yeah, or you attain moksha based upon how well you like transcend your energy, like
Is
so
moksha death? No.
no,
Not
moksha is
necessarily.
liberation.
Liberation.
I often call liberation is not bound by death. It's like it's something after death, but
Like
it's
the physical death, or not even?
not even a physical death.
even.
I think I believe like yes, uh, you died, like someone died, but they may not attain moksha. They might probably come back again to a human form because there's something unsettled.
Okay.
But until you finish that like
Job.
attachment, until you cut all the ties with the world, until you cut all the ties with the physical realm. Again, this is my belief. This is what I've grew up with. This is the teachings I learned from our religion, our culture, or and once you transcend yourself like to a higher self, to connect to your own higher selves, to your spirituality and whatnot, you are like you would go on the path of liberation. And I often tell, I mean, people, I don't know how much they would relate. Liberation is freedom.
Yeah. 100%.
And I feel it's again controversial, but if I feel like if you're looking for freedom, you're still not free because you're still looking for something. So the point where you stop looking, and even you have liberated from the thought of being liberated, that's liberation.
Yeah.
So
I love that you say that because I feel like I'm going through something right now. And I'm just realizing a lot of things about life in general because I feel like because of society, once again, we're always like goal oriented. There's a certain goal we need to reach. And up until recently, I feel like I was living my life in a way that, okay, when I get to this level, when I reach this, I'll be happy. When I reach this, I'll be free. When I do this, And a few months ago, like, of course, things happen in life that make you realize certain things. And a few months ago, a few situations happened where I was like, you know what? I don't care if I get there or not. Like, it's just, if I get there, cool. If, like you said, I have a certain direction.
Yeah.
There's somewhere I want to get. But I'm kind of learning to detach myself more and more. And I feel like I'm almost getting there in the sense that I'm kind of detaching myself from the result. And just trying to enjoy the journey.
That's beautiful.
And it's so hard to do because people will constantly remind you and tell you, but like, no, what are you doing? Like, you should be doing this, not that. And I feel like I just want to get to a point where I just live my life day by day, do my best on a daily basis. And if that brings me to a certain goal or destination, fine. And if it doesn't, just to be at peace with the idea that life will just take its course. You can make a plan. You can write whatever you want. But God or whatever you believe in can just wipe that plan and be like, nope.
Yeah.
This is where you're going. And it's just to accept that and be like, I'm just going to go where life takes me and be okay or at peace with that idea. And I feel like that's really, really, really challenging, especially in today's.
I'm so happy for your path, and I am so happy like you shared and you're following how you feel.
Yeah.
Because yeah, as you said, it's hard. It's hard. Like not many can do it. And and I laughed because you said about like people around you.
Yeah.
I so much resonate. I'm in this phase of my life, and I always feel like my life is a flow, as I said, but I know where I want to go.
Yeah.
But I cannot take this life for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this. I know where I have to go. I'm working on it, and I believe like everyone's working on it, and everyone knows. But there's no guarantee that there's a tomorrow. When you go to bed, you don't know if you're gonna wake up tomorrow. Like again, it might sound rough, but that's the absolute truth.
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't know, and we're probably stressing our life so much that okay, I'll do like this today so I can enjoy tomorrow. A lot of people, work hard till 50s and 60s and go on vacation, and they're like kind of like tired on vacation because their idea was like I'll enjoy this time when I can. I work this time, so that I can enjoy later. And life is about. I just use an example of a vacation, but like could be anything. Could be anything.
Any project, anything you desire.
Yeah,
to do.
and they're like, oh, I'll work my, like super super hard, and then I'll try to enjoy, take my time later, and that's where you feel burnt out. That's where you feel like okay, like anxious and like so many other emotions that you cannot probably handle.
I had a discussion with a friend recently, and something really struck me because, and it's an interesting question. You can just ask people around you, and it's shocking because now I started asking people, and I'm shocked at the answers I'm getting because I've always lived my life, I would say fully, in the sense that at the age and capacities I have, I try to live it as much as possible. Like, for example, I'm 33 now, and I've traveled a lot. I've traveled to more than 25 countries, and I personally love traveling. Whether I have money or I'm struggling or whatever it is, if I have an opportunity to travel, I'll always say yes because I just love discovering the world, connecting to other cultures, other humans. I just love human connection. And from a very young age, I used to tell my Mom, don't worry if ever anything happens to me. If I die tomorrow, I'm happy. Like, I love up until today what I've done with my life. I feel like I've done the most I possibly can. Of course, there's always more to do. But up until today, if we take the present moment, I feel like I live my life to the fullest that I can. So I started asking people, how would you feel if you died tomorrow? And 90% of the time, the answer is no. I have so much to do.
So much
I have so much to achieve. I have this goal, and I'm like, I understand. Me too. Me too. I want this and I want that. But if you were to die tomorrow, are you satisfied with the life you lived up until today? Or do you think you would have done something differently? Would you have gone to that place? Would you have asked this person out? Would you? And most of the time, you're going to realize people are going to say, yes, I would have done things, I would do things differently. And I feel like this is very key. It's a very important question. Because it really puts things into perspective of, yes, I want to succeed. Yes, I want money. Yes, I want this title. But while I'm getting there, am I actually living?
Am I actually content with what I'm doing? Like, I know what I want to achieve, but like, can I just enjoy the journey? Like, that's why sometimes they say like the end goal is not important, the destination is not important, but the journey is. And sometimes we fail to understand the difference. Thanks for that perspective. I had another question, if I could ask.
Yeah, sure.
You talked about steps. Like meditation was one of them, yoga was one of them, and I before I asked the question, I know how much a change people feel when they actually go to the gym or are conscious when they start walking. Because like when you're depressed, when you're having a lot of emotions, people end to binge eating, binge watching, and staying at one place. But I often tell people like go take a walk or start counting calories, and that's when I realize, or I got to know, when people say like, oh, I walked for an hour, I only burned 300 calories, and that's like one muffin or
Yeah.
and I never realized how much I eat, but now I'm conscious of how much I eat. So that's where I tell people like, okay, just to understand the perspective, because we might just in our bad times just eat something that's not good for our body. Firstly, we are not feeling good, and then overloading with something that's not good. So like double the negativity.
Yeah.
And
100%.
yeah. So and then you're like, oh, I don't feel good at all. But
Yeah.
so that's where I tell people like just go to gym or start tracking how much energy do you expend,
Yeah.
so you know how much you take in versus how much you because how much effort does it take to burn that energy. And I often get like, wow, I never thought about it. And so that's a nice suggestion that you talked about, like just moving your body, going out, walking, doing yoga, going to the gym, like taking care of your body. Start like you can start there. Second thing you talked about is meditation,
Yeah.
and that's where I want to know before we actually jump on, because I also want people to understand the how to reprogram their as a hypnotherapist.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have this feeling of like, oh, I can't meditate, I cannot sit, I cannot, it's too difficult for me. What uh, what do you have to suggest them? Like, what do you think they could start? Like,
If
often
they find meditation too hard.
too hard, too difficult, because often I hear from people is like, oh, it's too difficult, I cannot just sit close and do nothing. And also there's one aspect, and the second aspect, like, oh, I'm feeling something already, and I cannot just sit with that emotion. I feel like too much shaky, I feel too anger, like too much of anger, too much rage, too much frustration, I cannot sit with that emotion. Like, what do you have to suggest? Like,
So yeah, it comes back to moving the body. Of course, if you're in a state where you can't even sit with the emotion at all, that's when I would say go for a walk, move the body. So because emotion, technically, if you break it down, it's energy in motion. So if you're feeling an energy and you can't sit with it, it's because there's a certain level of stagnancy happening. So automatically, if you move your body, you're kind of like also moving the energy or allowing the energy to flow. And if not, if you can't meditate on your own, start with guided meditations. We have so many tools right now that sometimes it's hard to do it on your own. But if it's someone else, so you go on YouTube, or there's many apps that I love, just go on an app or on YouTube and search a guided meditation about what you're going through. Let's say the emotion you're feeling is anger or sadness. Guided meditation on how to release anger. Guided meditation on how to release sadness. And just start slow, start little. Don't start with a 1 hour meditation if you can't even sit for 2 minutes. There's short meditations, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And also breath, breathing. I forgot about that. It's true. Breathing, deep breaths. Just conscious breathing, because they say that when you're focusing on your breath, when you're consciously breathing, you can't really think of anything else. So even if you're angry or sad, maybe the first 2, 3, 4 breaths are gonna be hard, but the more you breathe, the more deeper inhales and deeper exhales, you already start calming the mind, calming the body, and then you can combine with a guided meditation even better. So while you're listening to the guided meditation, you start taking deep breaths. Already a lot of times in the guided meditations, they start with deep breaths.
Okay, yeah.
So they already
I think
combine that.
yoga also is part of meditation. Like we have pranayama, anulom vilom, and like so many to channelize your breaths and like regulate your nervous system too.
For sure.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Steph. Would you want to now get a little deeper into hypnotherapy?
Yeah, sure.
And like what do you have to say?
So just to give a little idea about my background, when I was really, really, really young, I wanted to be a dentist because I come, like I said earlier, from an Armenian Lebanese background. And culturally, when I was younger, my options were like doctor, lawyer, pharmacist, dentist, you know, like engineer.
Yeah.
Okay, it was like those 5, 6 options. Like, what do you want to be? Pick one. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh. And when you're young, you don't really know that there's like infinite amount of options right there, out there. And I used to like enjoy going to the dentist. I used to find their tools really cool. So up until like 13 years old, I wanted to be a dentist. Up until one day in high school, we had a day of like choix de carrière. So they come and talk about different careers. And a psychologist came in. And I discovered about psychology and I was like, oh, such a thing exists because I always felt called to help others. So that's when I decided, okay, I'm going to do psychology. So throughout my school lifespan, I would say college, I went into sciences humaines, human science, social science. And in university, I started psychology. And in Quebec, Canada, you need a doctorate degree in order to become a psychologist. So when I finished my bachelor's degree in psychology, it was really hard to get into the doctorate. So I did another degree in sociology. Still, I didn't know about the existence of hypnotherapy. And it didn't work out for me. And I felt very, very ashamed, guilty, because my family was expecting so much of me. And I couldn't kind of complete that dream, you know? My grandpa had already started telling people that I'm going to be a doctor because I'm going to become like... So a lot of pressure, and what I did is I traveled, and when I came back, I kind of felt a bit more than sad. I wouldn't say depressed, because depressed is like a bit heavier than that, but I felt this constant sadness, emptiness of what should I do with my life, and I entered this phase of about 6 weeks where I was like crying almost every day and not able to come out of that rut. And my cousin had discovered hypnotherapy through a friend, and just one session had helped her a lot. So she told me, why don't you try a session of hypnotherapy? It might help. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I've never done any form of therapy. Let me go try it. I think it's a good time. It changed my life. Okay, I went in the first session and I told a little bit about my story to the lady, and she told me, what's your goal? Like, you want to leave here? What do you want when you leave today's session? And I said, I just want to feel like control of my emotions. I felt like I couldn't control my emotions anymore. When I would be sad, I would be really, really, really sad. And when I was happy, I would be really, really happy. But there was never like an in between. So I told her, I want to feel just like normal. I just want to feel not too sad and not too happy, just in control of my emotions. And after everything I told her, she explained it to me that it's like I'm like an onion, and humans are like onions. In order to get to the center, you need to peel certain layers. And according to what I had told her, she told me you have a lot of layers, so it might take a little bit of time. It might take a few sessions. So each session, we're going to peel a layer until we get to the core of why you're feeling this way, which is the like kind of dig deeper into the subconscious mind. In total, I did 7 sessions in the course of 5 months, and it changed my life 180. And I had never felt this ever. So I was around 26, 27. Up until that time in my life, whenever I would feel things, I would feel them in extreme. I finally started being able to control my emotions, and I was like, wow. And that's when I flipped the switch, and I was like, maybe I was never supposed to do psychology. Maybe I did that so it can bring me in this route of hypnotherapy. And I had never heard about hypnotherapy before, and I was like, what is this? It's like magic. So I want to go study so that I can help others achieve what I achieved. So I researched, and there was private schools here. The university doesn't teach this, so you have to kind of find your own school. And I found this school, and I studied hypnotherapy, and throughout the journey I was practicing with family, with friends, and with little awarenesses I was bringing to people, I would see how much their life was changing. And that's why I decided to do hypnotherapy. And I don't think that was the question. The question was, what is hypnotherapy?
No, I think...
Is that okay?
Yeah. Firstly, I wanted to thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah.
I see you, I hear you. I resonate with your story. And
Okay.
thank you. Thanks
Yeah.
for being vulnerable, sharing your journey. And I also wanted to ask, like, you felt, because you talked about you felt shame,
Yeah.
but shame was because your family was expecting something and you didn't do that?
Correct.
So, okay. Wow.
So my family is very big.
Mhm.
We're very like close with each other, and I have a friend who doesn't really have much of a family, and she's really by herself. And sometimes I like to compare the way we make decisions in life, because I feel like when you grow up by yourself and you don't have much of a surrounding, it's easier for you to make decisions and not really care about what people think or say, versus when you grow up in a certain culture where there's a lot of people involved. It's almost like every decision you make, you're not the only one making the
Yeah.
technically you are the only one making the
But you're,
decision, but
like,
in the back of your mind there's
yeah.
like, okay, but what is my aunt and my grandma and my uncle and this and that are gonna think about this decision. So I think that's why I felt shame, because yes, of course, I wanted to do that as well because I love the human mind, and I did want to become a psychologist at a certain point in my life. So I did feel a bit sad, but shame came more from, like, I was sad that I
Yeah.
couldn't get into the doctorat, but I felt
like-
shame or guilt
It's
because
like
I
you
was
added that layer,
layer of emotion.
but it was not your emotion. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, I appreciate
Yeah.
you sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the question was about hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
Like, tell us about
Yeah.
hypnotherapy. I'm glad you shared the story because it adds up to know how your journey has been, how it helped,
Yeah.
so that like people also know like how it could help them, and now we could learn more about hypnotherapy.
I also like sharing that story so that people can know that I went through it as well.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So I
that's right.
didn't just study it and
Yeah.
like it's like an external thing. I experienced it
Yeah.
before I
You
I
actually
practice
became a
it.
facilitator.
Yeah. So what hypnotherapy is like working with the subconscious mind. So psychology works with the conscious mind, and hypnotherapy works with the subconscious mind. A metaphor I like to give is if you have a little piece of wood, like une écharde, that I don't know, you're doing something, and then
Yeah.
the little piece of wood goes in your finger. In psychotherapy or in any form of therapy where we're working with the conscious mind, we want to understand how it went in, how deep did it go, what's the best way to remove it, what's the least painful way to remove it, what will happen if we remove it. There's a lot of understanding around the situation. That's when you're working with the conscious mind. In hypnotherapy, which is the subconscious mind, we don't really care about the how and the when. We just want to remove it so it stops hurting. So it's very like it's almost like straight to the point. So I always say, if you want to understand why you're going what you're going through, maybe hypnotherapy is not the only, it's complementary. Like it can help because you'll get to the solution. But if you just want to stop feeling the way you're feeling, let's say you're feeling grief and you want to, it's been a while, like it's been months, the person passed away, and you still feel that heavy sadness and you want to like not feel that anymore, that's when hypnotherapy comes in, because it really helps you get results. It's result oriented. And how it works, I can give like a breakdown of how it goes down in a session.
Sure.
Let's say you come and see me and you're like, hey Steph, I want to work on this. You come in the session, the first session is usually around 2 hours because I need to get to know you. So the first 30 to 45 minutes, we're still a bit in the conscious mind, because I have a questionnaire that I'll fill out of what it is you're going through, a little bit of your backstory, like how your childhood was, what's the goal you want to achieve, and what is the emotion you want to feel when you leave. So we're a lot in the emotions in hypnotherapy. How do you want to feel? How do you feel right now? And how do you want to feel after the session? So once this part is kind of done, we put everything to the side. I call it putting the conscious to the side. And you can lay on the bed or stay seated if you prefer. And that's when the hypnotherapy starts. So it's a level of trance. I'm doing this because you go down into your body. So I'll relax the body. I'll start with the body and the mind. So it's a deep state of relaxation. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes to enter that state, depending on the person. And once you're in that state, we work a lot with elements of nature. So we don't even talk about the problematic necessarily. We work with elements of nature. So you'll take a walk. I'll tell you, for example, okay, I'll do a countdown from 10 to 0. And at 0, you find yourself somewhere in nature. Already, I tell you this, there's probably something that pops in your mind.
Yeah.
So visualize somewhere yourself in nature and describe to me what you see. And you'll start describing to me, okay, I'm by the water, I'm in the forest, I see trees, I see animals. Okay, great. And I connect your senses. What do you see? What do you smell? What do you hear? What do you taste? What do you feel? And then I work with the elements that come up. Because in your subconscious mind, those elements have certain significations. So for example, you're walking on the road, I'll ask you to describe to me how the road looks like. What is it made of? Is it made of mud? Is it made of sand? Is it made of concrete? And then we'll go deeper into analyzing what this road is made of. Is there holes in it? Is it flat surface? And we'll modify elements in nature. We'll modify the road, we'll modify the trees, we'll add elements you like and remove the ones you don't. So let's say the road has a lot of holes in it and it feels unstable. I'll ask you, what can you do to make the road more to your liking? And you'll say, for example, I want to patch up the holes. Great. How are you going to do that? Oh, I see that there's a pile of dirt on the side. I'm going to take the dirt. And so I just ask questions. And as I'm asking questions, things come up for you.
Okay.
And I work with those elements.
Is it something like you're talking about a road? So I'm just trying to understand, how is the road related to your emotion? So is it like something that you're missing in life, or it's like, does it signify or does it symbolize something?
100%.
Okay.
So a lot of elements symbolize different things, and usually we don't share this with the person coming in for the therapy, because they would know. Yeah. Because hypnotherapy is the subconscious mind. And you wanting to understand what the road means, again, is putting your conscious mind. Right? So we don't really care. You shouldn't care. Let's say you come to see me. You shouldn't care about what the road means, what the tree means, what the bird means. Even low-key, I don't care either. Like, it's not important. The important part is not to understand what each thing symbolizes. The important part is to do the work so that this environment that's in your mind is exactly to your liking, not even to mine, not even to society's. And this is why it's very important to go in that state of trance, in that state of relaxation, so that you don't give me answers that are correct answers. You have to give me the answers that feel right for you. So that's why it's important to not give importance to what you're thinking. It's really how you're feeling. So I'll say, like, how do you feel the road is? And you'll be like, I don't like it. It's always in the emotions. I don't like the road. Okay, what can you do in order to like it?
So it's like how you fix it, or how you want it to be fixed.
Yes.
Kind of. Okay.
But not how it should be.
Okay.
How you want to feel. Like, you have to feel good.
Okay.
With what you're... Like, if you feel good with the holes, then we're going to leave the holes. Yeah. We're not going to go fix them or fill them up, because if the road was fixed, it would look nicer for people walking on it.
Not for you.
Because for you...
You don't care.
You don't care. Maybe for you, it's not important to fix those holes. It's more important to add trees on the pathway.
Basically, the idea of how your life... maybe it is associated with how you have emotions in your life, how you see, like, oh, are you content, like, with how you live in life? When you're walking on the road, how content do you feel with, like, what you see? Yeah. Are you, like, in your body you feel right, or you're always nagging, complaining? Okay.
But also, it is important to bring the changes. So sometimes it'll happen that the person will say, I don't like how this road looks. And I'll be like, okay, what do you want to do to change it? And they'll say, I don't want to change it. And sometimes it's important to push it further in order to get them to the point that they do fix it. Because sometimes people are comfortable in their discomfort. So sometimes people don't want to bring the changes because they're comfortable with their misery.
Yeah.
And there's a fine line between the two.
Because it's known.
Exactly. It's familiar.
It's familiar.
So they're scared to fix the road because they've always walked on a rocky road.
Yeah.
And for them to walk on a road that's stable is scary.
Yeah.
So that's where the work comes in and the emotions come in, because if they don't feel good about this road, but they still don't want to change it, that's where my job comes in, where I have to guide them to bring them to the realization that, yes, you have to fix the road. Because fixing that road will allow you to walk a better life or a better journey, you know?
Okay, so because you know it would be good for them, you would kind of push them.
Yeah, and the only way I would
Okay.
know that is because they tell me that it doesn't feel right.
Okay.
It's not my decision.
Okay.
But if they're telling me that it doesn't feel right, but they still don't want to bring the change, that's where my job comes in. Sometimes it's very smooth. Some sessions go very smoothly and people have no problem modifying, fixing things, doing everything as they're liking. Some people, it's their first time ever becoming aware of their subconscious mind. So for them, it's much harder. It takes sometimes, the first session, sometimes it's like it's just unlocking that level of, I can do the work.
I can?
I can't, like allowing them,
Okay.
telling them like you
Like,
can.
Oh, I can.
You're
okay,
allowed
okay, I'm
to choose your life. Even though up until today other people chose your life for you,
Yeah.
sometimes that first session it's just to,
I can take this.
yeah,
I
you're
can.
allowed to take control of your
Okay,
life.
okay.
It's just to give that person the right.
The right. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for sharing this. Before we jump
Yeah.
onto the next part, is there something else that they could do from their own place? Like, let's say people are not comfortable at this point to
Yeah.
go see a therapist. People are, you already talked about
Yeah.
meditation and whatnot.
Yeah.
Is there something else that, like, I want people who are listening,
Yeah.
maybe they're shy,
Yeah.
to have some benefit
Yeah.
from their place
Mhm.
instead of going seeing a therapist. Like,
Yeah.
any takeaway tools that they could,
Yeah. There's something I can tell people to do that you can do at home if you want. And it's kind of like, it's almost like a state of self-hypnosis. So sometimes people are so in tune with their subconscious mind already that after one session, I did that. After just one session, they'll go home and they'll be able to kind of apply the techniques I did with them on their own. So I can kind of give that technique to the viewers if they want to start at
that'll be
home.
amazing. That'll be
Yeah. So basically what I recommend people to do, and there's also a lot of videos about this online, so if ever this is not clear enough and you want to dig deeper, you can just like research on YouTube how to do self-hypnosis. And basically what it is that you just sit or you lay down in your bed or you sit on a chair comfortably. I like sitting sometimes because you ground your feet and it kind of gives that sense of grounding. So you just sit on a chair, you ground your feet well, you put your hands on your arms and you just close your eyes and you start taking deep breaths, maybe 4 or 5 deep breaths, just to go really into the present moment. And then you do a body scan. So you relax your body from head to toe or from toe to head. You can decide either or. And you really take the time to go step by step. So you focus on your head. You just like send your breath there. So as you're inhaling, you visualize that the air is going in your head. And then you exhale anything that no longer serves. And then you inhale into each part of the body. So you go down into the neck, the shoulders, the arms, the chest, the heart. And I like going inside out. So even connecting to like your lungs, your heart, your like your digestive system, the stomach, the liver, the reproductive system, like really in and out. Take like a good 5 to 10 minutes to relax your body in and out. And then think about the goal. So before you do this, you have to think of
intention.
the intention, the goal, what it is that you want out of this. So let's say you want to feel less sad or you want to feel more relaxed. You think about that and you kind of visualize yourself it's like called future projection.
Mm-hmm.
You visualize yourself in the state of mind you want to be in.
Mm.
You kind of create this version of yourself in your mind of who you want to be and what you want to feel. And you just try to connect to that person. And once you are able to connect, it can take 4, 5, 6 minutes. You just breathe into that person. And sometimes you can add a physical anchor. So you can do this. Once you connect to that person, you can do this with your hand and just breathe into it and kind of send a signal to your mind of anchoring. Okay, when I do this, I'm connected to that version of myself. You breathe into it a few more times and you open your eyes and you go on with your day. It's easier said than done. And sometimes the first time, second time, it can be a bit hard. It's normal. It's like I always say it's like a sport. When you're gonna learn hockey, you're not gonna know how to skate the first day. You're gonna fall a few times and you're gonna get back up and you're gonna fall. So the more you practice it, the easier it gets. So if you do it the first time, don't give up. Show up again tomorrow and the next day, and do it regularly. Do it every day if you can, until you start feeling that connection and you start feeling good, and then it'll become
I often tell
supernatural.
people, have compassion for yourself. To, like, after all, we are humans.
Exactly.
After all, we are humans. We're doing our best. Thank you so much, Steph. Thank you for sharing this beautiful experience, beautiful stories, beautiful, walking us through your journey, how you actually found hypnotherapy for your life, how it changed your life, and also helping people. I'm happy that you shared how people can take charge of it if in case they're going through something. I would like to ask you one last question that it's kind of a traditional question I ask, is because you talked about many things that you're content in life, but there's always one thing that you always wanted to do, but is still kind of not worked upon, let's say. I often ask people because, like, it gives you a push to, like, just see, what I wanted to do. Always wanted to do. There's one on the top of the list, but I never got a chance to do it.
What I always wanted to do, but never got a chance to do.
Like in my to-do list, like, or something that I like, something that I want to do. Apart from travel, let's say. Apart from travel.
So I that's what I was gonna say. Like, I love it's the top of my list, and I pretty much do everything I want to do. But one thing that I always wanted to learn, and I always kind of like push back, or I say, like, I don't really have time for it because I'm busy doing other things. It's kind of basic, but it's learning the guitar. I always had this fascination about music, and I just love music in general, and I love watching live shows, like people creating music live, even the drums and everything. But there's just something about the guitar that I love the sound of it and the melody of it. And I even got a guitar as a gift 4 years ago, and I was like, this is the time I'm gonna do it. But now that you said it, and there is a guitar right there, so it kind of reminded me that maybe I should take actually some time, because it is something that I would love to learn.
Well, that was the intention of the question. So maybe something that you really feel. I wish you well for that journey, and I wish you get the courage and strength, and also the motivation, inspiration to just pick it up. Doesn't matter it sounds right or not. Just just hit the chords. So
thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. And thank you for having shared all the information here, and thank you for being on the show. I really love talking to you, and love the knowledge you shared with us.
Thank you so much. Likewise, I've done a lot of podcasts, and I have to say that I think this one by far is the one I enjoyed the most.
Oh wow.
I felt like it really flowed. I felt really natural, and it was really great being here. I really appreciate the invite.
Means a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.